broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey, what's up, everybody? You're tuned into AFTERBUZZ TV for Empire Season 2, Episode 4. I am your host, Bamm Ericson, and I would like to introduce the panel.
Hey, everyone. I'm Sofia Stanley.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Kennelia.
Hey, guys. It's Emile Ennis Jr.
And we got a lot to talk about, so let's just go. DJ, hit it, or cut it. Okay, so both record companies are now being under investigation, and so they have to pretend to be a family. Hakeem drops the ball and says, "Did you kill Bunky?" The reaction on Cookie's face tells me something, and so I want to ask you guys, do you think that Cookie knows that Lucious killed Bunky?
Yeah, we already know that from season 1 when she tried to snuff him out with a pillow.
Yes. I remember the pillow thing. Yeah, she knows. She knows.
Okay. All right.
But can we actually back up?
Yeah.
Can we back up? And again, I don't know why I never look up on IMDb before we come in here who the director of specific episodes
I think it was
are.
Danny Strong and stuff.
Well, bravo, Danny, bravo, because that opening scene, the way that they were not only cutting back and forth from the feds to Jamal being in the booth, again, I think that I've said on time and time again, Jamal sings best when he's singing about what's going on in his life, and that's what it sounded like. It literally sounded as if his song was the soundtrack to an opening of a movie. It felt very movie-like in terms of its framing. It melded well, and I think that it kind of, at least for me, got me amped up. Mm-hmm. And then that was the feeling I felt throughout the entire episode. It kind of set a pace and it set a tone that I really liked.
And see, that's so different because I feel totally opposite. I don't like the montage shots because if I was watching a movie, I would appreciate the shot, but being that it's a primetime soap opera, it doesn't feel right to me. It feels more like I'm watching a romantic comedy, like 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I'm at the movie theaters with my girls, the popcorn, and you see this whole montage. So for me, it's a little bit different.
Good. Yeah. You guys both have good points.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm proud of myself for not doing a retort.
Okay, so now. So now that the families have to work together, now there's this truce. You have Cookie and Lucious who now have this meeting, and Cookie wants to call a truce, which I thought was interesting because 1 minute they're at each other's throats, the next minute they're kind of like.
Well, they've always had this kind of banter between them where it's a love-hate relationship, and they've established that over last season and the beginning of this season. I think it was interesting when she came in there to present her truce. It wasn't anything she was offering to him. It was just, give me this, give me this, give me this. And he called her out and like, what am I getting from this? The dynamics of the relationship I still enjoy, and I think I'm really enjoying with certain characters, how they're evolving. Mm-hmm. And if we're going to talk about Cookie specifically, she is really evolving as a business person, which we'll talk about for sure later. Mm-hmm. But I'm seeing growth with her. Lucious, not so much. Lucious is still the same manipulative, conniving person that he's always been, but that's worked so far. So we'll see.
Yeah, I agree. And I like their scenes together because you can kind of tell that it's a little off book. Like when they were in the office and she went to see him and then he called her grandma. She said grandpa. And she was like, shut up with your fat stomach. Mm-hmm. I really believe that moment between them was just a genuine improv going back and forth. Even when it was another part where she said something and it felt so...
When she said basically like smack this.
Yeah, like
Yes.
you can tell that just the relationship between them as friends, that they're good with each other. Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go one step further. I also think, and this is, I think, why the show is so amazing, Lucious actually respects Cookie for trying to do the hostile takeover. Like, that's the woman he married. He married a woman who is that business minded, is that savvy, is that sophisticated that you can never count her down, regardless of who her enemy and or who her competitor is. So I think that even when you back up, when he even says, you know, of course I didn't kill Bunky, he introduced me to the way that he paused and said, the love of my life, he truly means it, because she is literally and figuratively his equal in all ways. And I think that he feels proud to not only be in her presence, but I think that he feels proud that she gave him such amazing sons, Andre not included until the end of the episode.
Great transition. Lucious does he does respect Cookie's street hustle, and so one of the things when they were doing the whole negotiation, Cookie says, you know, we want to be able to get back on the radio, stay away from our artists and stay away from the masters. And when they started talking about Hakeem, he says that he's trying to teach. He's not going to let him back on the radio. Hakeem needs to figure out a way how to get back on the radio, and this is how I am teaching him how to be a man. My question is, do you guys agree with Lucious' ways and how his interpretation of wanting to teach a boy to be a man with his kids?
I think that's a good way to teach someone how about the music business and straight up business. Like, this is what it is. If you want to find a way, then you're more than welcome to find a way. But I have a company and you have a company. We're no longer a part of the same team. So I think in that regard, he's doing well. But as a dad, no. Lucious, he really has done some dirty stuff to his kids. He sent his girlfriend away, even though she was a little older, and we addressed that last season. But the fact that Hakeem was like, this is my girl, and he like basically was like, go away, that alone is just dirty. He does some dirty stuff to all of them. So I think teaching him how to be a man as a human being, no. As a businessman, yes.
And I agree with Kennelia in regards to teaching him the music business. He also does things that are convenient. So when he's explaining it to Cookie, he's just good with his words and wording it so it sounds like he's doing the right thing, but he's literally just talking out of both sides of his mouth, like Sofia says, so it works in his favor for what he needs to accomplish.
And I don't know, maybe I drank the Lucious Kool-Aid. I actually think that he is actually doing a good job as a father. And the reason being is, oh, darn it, I was about to make a reference that I'm just going to have to make the reference. I just caught it in my own head, so I apologize, whoever is offended. So do you remember the Cosby Show episode when Cliff and Claire were trying to teach Theo that he doesn't have money, they have money, and that he has to stand up on his own 2 feet because what they have isn't what he has. And in order to be a man, whether or not it's in business or just in life, you need to have a skill set and you need to get everything on your own merits. Theoretically, if he allowed him back on radio, that would be you're getting back on radio because of your dad. I don't know if some people are aware, and yes, theoretically it doesn't still go on, but it does, payola and radio. Normally you have to pay to get on the radio.
You sure do.
The way in which you do that is normally that you are with a major label, i.e. Empire. If you are an independent artist, such as Hakeem with Lions Dynasty, you would not have the money and or resources to get on radio to begin with. The only reason you have those contacts, theoretically, is your affiliation with Empire.
Right.
So really what your dad is saying is, okay, cool, you want to be big and bad, you want to be an adult, you want to step out on your own, then do that 100%. You can't choose when you use the Lion name and when you use Empire and when you do not.
I 110% agree with you. I believe that he is definitely teaching him how to, teaching the boys how to be a man and to run the business. And right now, Hakeem is the only one that is stepping up. 75% of the time. I feel like there's moments he doesn't know how to separate business from dad. He's kind of whiny sometimes when he doesn't get his way.
Well, we got to remember, Hakeem is only about 20 years old. We can't really expect him to act like he is like a mature 32-year-old guy. He's just really finding out who he is. So his lashing out, I look at it and I'm like, okay, whatever. It's just Hakeem. He's just a passionate person. I take it. And he's a passionate 20-year-old. So I don't see anything wrong with that.
And I think he's mimicking the behavior he's learned from his dad. That's exactly how his dad runs his business. The fact that it's a family business, they do that all the time. So I think that Lucious always leads with emotion, number one. Number two, I think that the reason that Hakeem is acting out in the way that he is because, again, within a short period of time, season 1 to season 2, the roles have so drastically changed. It's off-putting. He used to be the golden child, and Jamal was off in Never Never Land, literally according to Lucious, and now he's the golden child sitting on the throne of the empire. And at every single moment in which Lucious can do so, he always says things like, well, you know why I did? Because Jamal's better than you. Jamal's not a mama's boy. Jamal. That's emotion. That he's not talking about numbers. He's not saying, okay, well, if you hit this on the charts, then maybe we'll talk. You know, oh, your beat was good, but I think that the underlying baseline was a little bit too poppy. That's not how he's talking to him. He's not talking about to numbers and metrics and business. He only talks to Hakeem via an emotional state or an emotional platform.
And sometimes when Hakeem lashes out, even though it can be petty at times, there are times when it's justified. And we'll talk about the shoot later, but there are times when it's justified. And we're seeing growth with Hakeem. So in that regard, then maybe his parenting skills are working. Well, actually, that's still more business related. I'm seeing growth business wise because even with him taking off the radio, his mom said, well, we have to take the viral route, make this video go viral then. Because he is of a certain generation, he has certain skills that older people might not understand. And that even shows when he released the video on, or released the song online or his whole album. Even though that was a stupid move legally, it's still a smart move for his particular audience demographic. So I think that all this stuff that's going on with Lucious cutting him off and trying to teach him how to be a man is actually helping because it's forcing Hakeem to think outside the box and grow, learn his business acumen, and him and his mom is growing on me. Growing on me.
I like the relationship between Cookie and Hakeem now. Especially, I remember last week when she slapped him. And his response to Hakeem, when Cookie slapped Hakeem at the very beginning of the episode because he was sleeping with the girl.
Oh yeah.
When she slapped him,
I was like, what?
Yeah.
When she slapped him, he just kind of laughed like it's no big deal. So you can see how far they've come. But what I don't like about Cookie and Hakeem's relationship is I feel that Cookie is all emotion. She's too, her emotions are too invested now, and she's not thinking sometimes logically.
Like in what way though?
Yeah,
like when you
I think the same thing that Kennelia said.
With she's yelling at Jamal about how she needs things to be viral. Last week when they were with the Menage a Trois people, I feel like she's allowing him too much at times.
But do you think that her scolding him at those moments was justified? And the reason that I ask that is, from what you're telling me, she's telling him, okay, this is what your dad's doing, find a way to work around it. She just may be saying it in a little bit more of an aggressive tone. She's telling him not to basically sleep with your talent because that's never a good idea. Fast forward, it wasn't a good idea. So I'm not sure where that's not a logical thing that she's advising him to do, not to sleep with his talent and to make sure that his video goes viral so that he gets the appropriate airplay.
I think her emotions are involved because I feel she's allowing Hakeem, although she's yelling at him and she's saying certain things, she's allowing him to do things that I believe that if she was the strict Cookie who just didn't give a damn and you're gonna do what I say, but I feel like because Hakeem is all she has right now, she's like that nice parent who has to sometimes allow her kid to do certain things because she doesn't want to lose him.
I get where you're coming from, but I think there's it's a little complicated just because, one, we have to address the fact that Hakeem and Cookie's relationship, even though it's better now, it was still strained for a long time because he's the youngest. He felt neglected because she was in jail. He didn't know the backstory, all this stuff, so he was siding with Lucious. Once Lucious betrayed him by giving Jamal the throne, now Hakeem is going to the mother. He's trying to side with her. In those situations, I don't think it's her being a weak parent. I think it's her doing the same thing that Lucious says he's doing with her teaching him how to be grown and teaching him how to grow as a man. Because I think I said it last week, but there are certain things you cannot teach. He has to learn from his mistakes. So I really don't think it's not about her being not wanting to be the bad parent and like going lenient on him. It's just literally things that he has to learn by making those mistakes. And if Hakeem continues to talk about we're trying to build a dynasty and we're going to be moguls and all this stuff, there are certain steps he has to take, and he has to realize the consequences of his actions if he actually wants to get to that place.
Yeah, I agree. And they have the same vision. Out of everybody who was supposed to come to Lyon's Dynasty, it's just those two. They are in it. So even if her tactics may be a little off sometimes, or even if he may not accept it the way he probably should, or he's being immature about it, at the end of the day, they both want the same thing. They both want this to succeed, and they both know what needs to be done to get there. His tactics are a little more younger, and they're a little more fresh, and hers are a little more street, like, this is what we did when we got Empire off the ground, so this is what we need to do now. And with both of them, it can't not work. So when she's like, you need to do this, the way he even like dismisses her, I don't even think he takes it that serious. He's like, no, Mom, we're gonna be moguls. He said moguls 32 times in the whole episode.
He did.
He's really serious about being a mogul. So I think the way they both handle it, I think it's perfect.
But Bamm, I will say I would agree with the emotional part when it comes to her dealing with Anika. I think that her judgment's clouded with the emotions there, because even the way that Lucious was able to sway her so quickly, saying that she's deceiving him or deceiving her, and then she came back when she talked to Boo Boo Kitty, and Boo Boo Kitty said, well, he's deceiving you. I don't know, there's something about there where the fact that she trusts Lucious before she would trust Anika is just weird.
And I was going to actually ask that question next, is if you thought that that although she knows Lucious is lying, does she have a right not to trust Boo Boo Kitty, or is she doing that out of spite? But I think she's doing it. I'm not really sure why she's doing it. I think it's out of spite, but I feel it's petty, but then maybe there's something else that we don't know.
I think her emotions are still involved.
Yeah.
I think in that regard, she's not thinking about business. She's thinking about her emotions, because when she met with Lucious at the top of the episode, she said, well, she was your woman.
Your bitch.
Yeah, she was your bitch. So you picked her. Cookie still feels a way that Lucious moved on with her, and that her is now there in their space. So if Anika and Lucious never would have slept together, never would have been engaged, Cookie would be fine with her, working with her. Enemy or not, Cookie knows business, she knows you got to keep your enemies closer. But the fact that her and Lucious were together, that's where Cookie's falling down.
Fair enough.
But does anybody else bother? And this is just me personally. There's certain characters, especially since we had Grace in the studio last episode, so I keep waiting for that moment with Boo Boo Kitty, and I think it just makes me so sad. And I know that we're probably going to see a major moment with her character, but I think it makes me so sad just to see how diminished she is now that she doesn't have Lucious or any type of. Her confidence is just gone.
I hate where they're going with Boo Boo Kitty. I hate the fact that she has no job. She's dyking. She's doing too much.
Oh no!
I cannot.
She took one for the team.
Yeah.
She took one for the team.
But that just seems so out of character for her. I didn't like that. I just didn't.
But even that doesn't seem like, yeah. I get what you're saying.
but
it's too much.
This is the thing is that I think we all agree, because I think that not only have we gotten attached to Anika, we've also gotten attached to the actress, especially because she was here at the AfterBuzz Studios. But I think that they are doing something very deliberate. I think that they had to change our emotion with her. Because think about it, season 1 we didn't like her. She was the person that we loved to hate. We would be like, Boo Boo Kitty, Boo Boo Kitty. We didn't even remember what her real name was. So I think that very similar to Andre, what they are allowing is they're allowing her character to have a true story arc. So now we're in a moment, right, where we're like, oh my God, she's down and out, like even Cookie stepping on her, even though she knows that Lucious is horrible, and it will allow her to do either one of two things: save the day, or to possibly become the true villain that she is meant to be, and really stand in her truth, because on some levels, she's actually not closing any deals. Similar to Andre, you can come to the table when you basically put your businesswoman pants on and you bring me something. But until you actually close a deal, I'm going to continue to treat you like Boo Boo Kitty. When you step up, I will refer to you as Anika, and I will give you all of the respect that is due. But I think they are deliberately doing it. I think that it is brilliant. But you know what? We talk a lot, and I hope that you talk a lot. I hope that when you watch us or you listen to us, that you are joining the conversation. And the way that you do that is if you watch live on YouTube. Hello, chat room. We literally would be reading your comments, but because we're in our new studio, we can't read them in the moment. So we will hopefully fix that very, very soon. The other way that you can join the conversation is by jumping on iTunes and listening to our podcast. And when you find our podcast, Empire AfterBuzz TV, you can rate, comment, and subscribe. And again, rate 5 stars if you like what we're saying. If you don't like what we're saying, tweet us. So again, rate 5 stars, comment, and tell a friend. We really read all of your comments. It's part of how we do what we do and how we come up with some of these ideas and theories and conspiracies.
And if that's not enough, and you're still on iTunes looking for more, search for Happy Hour, a shot of conversation, where we talk about all the hottest topics. This week we talked about Lamar Odom. We talked about Raven Simone's comments.
Uncle Bernie.
Oh my gosh, the Democratic debate. So much. So join the conversation. Go to iTunes, search for Happy Hour, and we promise you will not be disappointed.
I'm disappointed with Jamal.
Ooh, good transition.
I can't stand him. I don't even want to talk about him. He just gets on my nerves. So Jamal versus Hakeem.
We're not here for you.
Yeah. He's a baby. I don't like him. Just Jamal Hakeem. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, first of all, and I mean, I think that it is obvious that I am way here for this video. I think I mentioned it last week that with Cookie's outfit, I said it was Mad Max of the Thunderdome. This week, they are coming straight California love. So again, I think that there is something to be said about when this family sticks together, and I think that the collective message that they are trying to send, not only to the business world, but to the world at large, and I loved it. Like, I loved everything about the setup. I loved everything about the outfits. I loved everything about the message. It was brilliant to me. Even though it was a little bit copycat, but it was brilliant.
Yeah, the whole time I was, since they have so many celebrity cameos, I was waiting for the Tupac hologram to show up out of nowhere. That would have been bomb. But, you know.
Oh my God.
No, she's right.
That's true.
She's
Like,
right.
oh, it's like, oh, Tupac,
I would have fallen off my chair. I'd have been like,
No. No, I think I agree with both of you. The video was hot. The message was. I thought the video was hot. The message was cool. I didn't think the dancers need to be so overly sexualized. However,
Because one girl was popping that thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, she had the splits.
let's keep this respectable when we articulating that message.
yeah, that was her moment to shine on Empire. But however, I thought
Next
the
time,
message
please
was
cast
great.
me.
Seriously. But the message I think was great, specifically with Jamal's character. I'm going to take Sofia's point in regards to Anika, and I'm just hoping that they're doing something, because last season Jamal was the person we were all rooting for and riding hard for, and we were loving seeing his growth and how he went from this timid boy to all of a sudden stand up to his father and just everything. And this season it's changed. I think I was more interested in the dynamic between Jamal and Michael this episode, because Michael just seems so over Jamal, over his, what I'm assuming is perceived arrogance, and he didn't really say a lot. So I mean, there has to be something with that, and I'm just waiting. I just need to see more.
Well, speaking of Michael and Jamal, should he really be jealous over that little thing monster who's flirting with him?
I don't think he was jealous of that.
I didn't think he was jealous until the very end when they were hanging up the posters outside.
And he said, "I want to be inside you."
No. When they were outside after Hakeem stabbed the picture, and they were outside hanging it up, and he said, "You are no longer the artist, you are the art." And the look on Michael's face looked like he just lost something.
But did you hear?
I think he did.
Did you hear what he said when he was making that comment? He says, "I want to be inside." Wait.
Well, he said that inside earlier in the
Okay.
episode. So when he said that, as soon as he said that and the look on Michael's face, I was like, okay, we're done. Michael, you just have to walk away, because there have been too many moments where Michael he's been on the brink of insecurity or feeling like he doesn't necessarily belong, or if somebody says something to him, he kind of looks a certain way. If you're not going to be down to be with an artist, somebody who is in the limelight, good or bad, even though nothing bad has happened besides him sleeping with old dude with the faux hawk, then you need to just go away. You need to walk away. And he looked too defeated at the end of the episode. So goodbye. Bye, Michael.
I'm going to play devil's advocate for the sake of doing so. I don't think it's from a place of jealousy. I think it's from a place of he was in love with Jamal. He is not in love with Jamal the artist. I think they're two completely different people. I think that how they view the world, how they walk through the world, the energy with which they emote is different. So I think that on some levels, we make a joke, we live in Hollywood. I think that what Michael feels is Jamal is gone Hollywood. And that there is a lack of realness and there's a lack of authenticity.
Well, it reminds me of because we also do the Scandal after show, your fandom Scandal. It reminds me of Fitz and Melly, where a couple seasons ago he said she was ornamental. And it reminds me of that because one, we had the scene with the interview that he did with, I can't remember her name, the British host, but she's amazing. He did an interview with her, and where was Michael? He was in the kitchen just looking nice. And, and Michael, your boyfriend's so cute. Perfect. That's great for the press. And then for this episode, he sits on the sofa. He's talking to the guy from Rolling Stone. Oh, isn't that great, babe? Yeah, that's awesome. So I think the problem is, and it's not really Jamal's fault, but in a way, Michael is looking for some type of a little bit more than just his boyfriend. But I haven't seen any effort to really make himself stand out and show himself as an equal. Because I think we're starting to see it going back to season 1, where the whole reason that Michael was dismissed is because not only was he not riding with Jamal and not proud of him, but he was so defeated because what was he in school trying to become a chef or something? And I remember we all said back then, if he really wants to stand up and be an equal, he has to own his truth, own what he's doing, and then stand out and really pursue it. And I haven't seen any. Now it just seems like instead of, and we haven't really seen a storyline from him, but instead of pursuing his craft, we just always see him lounging around with Michael and telling him to help to leave. I don't.
Sophia, I agree that, he's changed. He's the person that he fell in love with. That person's done. But although rather than me drag Jamal, I'm going to drag Michael just for like 12 seconds. Cookie warned your ass what you were getting into season 1. So why would you come back to this man knowing that now he has, he's doing magazines for Vibe and Rolling Stone and Ebony and Jet and all these other people. He's clearly changed, and then it's not.
I used to have every issue with Jet.
I still get the Ebony. My dad sends it to me every month.
I so wanted to be a Jet.
Oh my God!
Did you
really?
I could totally see you as a Jet Beauty.
Who didn't?
But
used to be banging.
God.
I have to blame Michael just for a little bit because when you got back with him, he already blew up.
I don't know. And again, I think I have to make it somewhat personal because I think that we live in Los Angeles. His rise was meteoric. That was not normal. Normally, it is a steady rise. So you have a chance to get used to it, to get used to how people are going to treat him differently, to get used to the press, to get used to everything else. He went from being almost nobody. All he was the kid of a famous person to now all of a sudden being on the cover of Rolling Stones. Like, let's think about that. That's, I think, what we should be talking about. Like, he literally now is the face of music. Not pop music, not hip hop music, not whatever. He's the face of all music on one of, other than possibly Vibe, one of the 2 preeminent music magazines, which theoretically can't be bought. Right? There's a little bit more of an authenticity to a Rolling Stone and or a Vibe than other kind of publications when it comes to music. So not only are you popular, but you also got street cred too. I think that the speed in which it happened, I don't think that any human being could not have been affected by it. How then they transition, I think that's different. But I think he came back because he loved him. I think he came back also too because I think Jamal called him back. Like, let's be real. I think we could put a lot on Michael, like, Michael is this soft dude. No, trust me. Jamal, after he was done with Ryan, was like, yo, I'm lonely. I don't know how to do this. I need my boo back. He called him. He probably sent him some gifts, and that's how they got back together. So Michael was like, okay, he's really saying and articulating that he needs me, and I love this man. I need to give it another chance, and I think that this is actually what he needed for closure, because I think that definitely in the next 2 episodes, Michael will definitely leave and will not be coming back.
Bye, Michael. Poor thing.
Oh,
you disagree?
I think they're going to keep him, but he's going to. I think they're going to keep their relationship not like Liv and Fitz, but Michael's going to come in and out. A couple episodes come in and out until something. Because like I said, I think Jamal is going to have a breakdown. I think he's going to succumb to alcohol. I see him punch. I told you that I think he's a little aggressive with Michael. I think he's going to choke him up or do something, but I see something in the far future. That's all.
Real quick, because we talked about the great message of the video, but when Jamal and Hakeem had their little tiff and Hakeem stabbed the painting, that's what I was referencing earlier, where I didn't necessarily think that was out of line, just because in that moment we saw Hakeem grow, because it really was where Lucious was just talking about praising Jamal. Oh, this is great. And because of the situation now where Hakeem's at Lions Dynasty and Jamal is still with Empire, the fact that they are rivals now and it is supposed to be a professional video set, if that was really on a professional set, even though Lucious is the CEO, I mean, we don't have time.
It's true.
We don't have time to be admiring this and like, oh, no, look at that. Oh, look at that. No, let's get back to this business. Especially when you have all those people working on it. So it's just, Lucious, it made sense for him to lash out like that.
I agree.
Including cutting the painting?
Well, yeah, because he's standing up for himself. I mean, there's only so much you can take. And if nobody's listening to me, if you're not going to listen to what I'm saying and I don't have a voice to you, I have to do an act that is so outrageous that you finally get the message.
Because, and I think that's why the statement wasn't complete with him stabbing the painting. It was like, okay, now let's shoot.
Exactly.
Does it make sense? Like, cool. Like, if we want to be all emotional in here, because that's what they were doing. They were emotionally gushing over Jamal. So, okay, cool. I'm going to be emotional too. And I was going to say something else, but then I was trying not to be explicit. Because basically they were pulling their you-know-what's out. Let's be real. That's what they were doing. Jamal did it at first, but he does it in his own way. And then Lucious, the way he walks in, oh my God, that's him pulling his out all over the place. Yeah. And basically Hakeem was like, I'm not finna to have that because I'm an alpha too. So he basically was like, yo, you can't piss all over my territory. So, okay, I need to level the playing field. And that's literally what he did when he stabbed the painting. And then he was like, okay, cool, let's get back to work. Because now we've all done that. We've all got that little emotional testosterone thing out of our system. Now let's get back to work.
Okay, well, what do you guys think really quick about the fight between the two? Do you think that Jamal retaliation, do you think it was on time, or do you think he responded accordingly when he punched him?
I think it was just brothers fighting. Unfortunately, it was during business time, so that made it kind of, unnecessary. But they've been fighting this whole series. They fought in season 1. They're gonna fight in season 2. They're gonna fight in season 3. So that's just what brothers do. Yeah. When somebody talks shit to the other brother and they don't like it, and something pops off, they're gonna wrestle. Somebody might get punched, and then you're gonna move on.
What I thought was scary, though, and I think that's what was telling, was the visceral nature of the fight and the way that Hakeem picked up the bat and I think caught himself. I think that what that symbolized was so much that he's never going back to the Empire. Like, I really think he is fully realizing that Lucious is the devil, and that when you dance with the devil, that shit is going to be on you. And I think he really doesn't like who he is in that space. Because in that moment, his intention was completely to hit his brother with the bat, because in that moment he wasn't seeing clearly. He had no concept of what would then happen after that, and I think that's why he walked off, and I think that's why he reacted in that manner. And then fast forward, I think that's why when he was at the bar, that's why his initial instincts are always good, that he was going to apologize, because he knows that regardless of what's going on, it should never come to the point where brother against brother, that there was a point when they would be above this. So even if they are fighting, if arguably Lucious is fighting Cookie, that has nothing to do with them. And I think he felt that in that moment, and he realized that he can't be in that environment, and that arguably, like, he really is on his own and has to stand up on his own 2 feet. And that's why I think they so transitioned to the next scene when he was in the bar, because I think that Kennelia and I were joking about it. There were no friends, Chicken wasn't there, like, he was purely by himself trying to figure out what his next move is.
No, I forgot about the bar. Just that girl was amazing.
I mean, but the bar, like, Hakeem is Hakeem. He's like the equivalent to a doper tiger. Let's just keep it real. So
That's a good.
he's a doper tiger. So it looked like he was like wandering around the theater district in Times Square and ended up at some little dive bar. I was like, what is he doing? He had no homies with him. He didn't have no jewelry on.
He's drinking the brown liquid.
Right. and all of 20 drinking liquor.
And a bar. I think it was a great moment because, the whole thing about him needing to find a replacement. That was a lot of importance in the beginning of the episode. You have to find replacements. I mean, let's just keep it real. She's not Beyonce. She's not Dinah Ross.
Wait,
wait.
Who?
The original girl who jumped
that
over.
Other girl. Okay.
The other girl. Oh. She's replaceable.
Right. Agreed.
And clearly she's replaced. That's my point. Ooh, y'all was about to do
that moment was probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
She had like that young Selena thing going on. And as soon as she started singing, I was like, yay! I was so happy that we were no longer going to be dealing with that other girl.
Yeah. And I think that it also shows, I think, that where this show is going, not even just from a musical perspective, but even kind of, I think that when you reference that you didn't like the opening scene because it did not feel like a nighttime soap opera. I think what Empire is doing is Empire is rewriting the rules. They can do whatever the hell they want. So I think that what they're showing is they're now about to bring out arguably either a group or a solo artist, because on some level, I actually can't see her in the group, and I actually don't want to see her in the group. I want to see Laura as her own thing, her own entity, her own brand, number one. Number two, I also think that with her rendition of the song, I also think that what they're trying to show is you can take music that is not theoretically popular and make it popular. Because I think that why you're saying that Valentina is replaceable is she was singing pop music. So any kind of like individual that's coming through this mill of music where they're kind of manufacturing artists can mimic that. You can go on YouTube and find it, right? But I think what this young lady did, just like you said, as a young Selena, she was singing from her soul. She was singing from that individual place. And I think that's why when she started, it was a whisper. Because it was like, I'm actually not sure if I want to share my soul with you, because that is so intimate. And I think that the fact that, again, that it was in Spanish, I think adds another layer of intimacy. And I think that what it's saying is that can cross over. It doesn't need to be packaged in the way or the manner that we're used to hearing it. It actually can be authentic and it can be real. And that in of itself can become popular.
And we can enjoy it.
Thank you.
Even though we didn't know what she was saying.
Exactly.
I was like, yay! I loved every moment of that.
Yeah, we're so here for her.
Agree. And continuing what you're saying about how Empire is making their own rules and how they're dropping a lot of messages and so forth, I want to talk about Cookie. When Cookie was arrested, it was, anything Cookie does, we laugh. It's funny. But the messages that they're dropping, you can say whatever you want to say about Empire, but the messages that they drop with the Black Panther, with the music video, with Cookie being arrested, she said something to the effect of, if they kill me, just know that I did not commit suicide.
Right. If I die in police custody, I did not commit suicide. Say her name, Sandra Bland. I think that even in the music video, when Lucious said, the lack of subtlety is actually my point. There is no reason for us to be subtle regarding what is going on, and I think that is what the show is doing. The show is not holding punches. The show is, if anything, it's jabbing, uppercut, knocking you out, because I think that they are clearly articulating what it is that they want to say. I think they are clearly also setting Taraji P. Henson up for an Emmy, because I think that you take that scene of her in the car and the way that she is looking up in the window, she is literally looking up to God. So even though she is saying it to us, arguably as the audience, the way that she is looking up. So she's really speaking directly to God, like, I'm not dying today, this way. And then fast forward, when you literally see her in the cell and the way in which she's flashing back, yes, I'm not going to dismiss that she actually did something criminal. So I'm not going to do that. That would be unfair to the character. But just think about it from a human perspective. She was in jail for 17 years. She was in jail for 17 years. That moment when she was obviously yelling to God to kill her, that she can't survive, she just wants to die, powerful does not begin to explain it. And to me, I think that what it showed is she's like, I'm never going back there. Like, I don't care what it is that I have to do. I cannot go back there because I actually may not make it this next time. And I think that that's why the scene played so well with the prosecutor. I think that's why when the prosecutor threatened her children, I literally was like, kill her. Yes, I know I'm the lawyer, but I was like, kill her slow. She's out of her freaking mind.
A couple things about that. Ironically, when Ford went to talk to Cookie, covered up. No, the boobs are not out.
Oh yeah, they've been covered.
Well, they were out later.
No. When she went to get Lucious, them girls is out. When she went,
the funny thing is, I feel like I can't even talk.
I'm just
want to
mention
that. Can we just move on? We all know her boobs are always out. Whatever.
Will Cookie's plan? Will her plan backfire? The fact that she stated that bunking Lucious and so forth. Do you think that?
No, because the nature of what she said, it's not like she really gave any true information. She just gave enough to get the Apex deal squashed. I just want to jump back to what you were saying, Sophia, about what you both were saying about the if I die in police custody. Mm-hmm. I've always said, if and when I reach a certain caliber in Hollywood and you reach a certain level of celebrity where you have a platform, and we talked about this on Happy Hour last night with Raven Simone, when you have a certain level of platform, I think it is your duty to promote issues that are important to you. So with that being said, Empire is arguably one of the biggest shows on TV, one of the hottest shows, especially with a certain demographic. And thankfully, this show has translated not just to people of color, but everyone in general. Mm-hmm. The fact that the writers are not afraid and are literally stepping into current issues and putting them in a platform of the show and say, look, we can show Cookie in this funny light, but we're also going to do, you remember what, what movie was it? I'm going to lose my card. Message.
Oh, don't
be a menace.
Yes. So it's literally these moments where they're just putting in these messages. Even with, I talked about this on the first episode, the season premiere, their whole opening scene, even though it was a little free Lucious, message, they're not afraid to go there this season. And that's because last season they were introduced. And, you can laugh at these characters. You can say it's a primetime soap, but they are actually talking about issues that need to be talked about. And I'm happy about that.
I think it's also great because in the 70s, black shows did that all the time, through comedy, through whatever. Mm-hmm. Sanford and Son, Jefferson, all those shows did the same thing that Empire is doing, and I just think that it is just so important, the message that it was. Just really quickly, the whole if I die in police custody. Years ago, my son's mom and I, we were literally watching something black, and someone died, and she and I, we literally made the same promise that when you get that call, Bamm Ericson's gone. If they say the reason of your death is suicide, investigate. And that is an agreement that she and I, we made years ago. And I don't care if I don't talk to her for 10 years. If she dies and they say it's a suicide, I am investigating to the fullest.
Well, then that speaks to the history of policing in this country, which we can go on and on about. We actually talked about it on Happy Hour as well. People, once you understand why an entity was created, you can no longer be shocked of why it still exists in that same spirit. So the fact they're addressing this on TV, like everybody said, I think it's amazing, and hopefully they keep doing it as things keep happening, because we keep needing to hear it, and it never needs to be silenced.
Really quickly, should Portia be fired for putting
for hopping the turnstile
and giving up Cookie's name, which is Cookie? That's not even a real name, but. So therefore, she shouldn't even be arrested. But should she be fired? Yes or no?
Portia doesn't use her own social security number because remember she didn't want to do taxes. Yeah. So whose else name was she going to give? Okay. I mean, let Portia live.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
And the only other thing is, because I know that we're running out of time, Rhonda's ride or die. I thought I was a ride or die chick. I am no longer a ride or die. That would not have been me. I would have been practicing my crying face when the police came, like, what? I'm pregnant. Oh my God. No, there is no way. Like, she's beyond. Like, I have nothing bad to say about Rhonda.
Me too. Just, do you guys think that Andre's goodbye speech to Vernon about teaching him to be the man that he is today, will it ruin him? Because I did notice Lucious was kind of, he didn't display emotion, but he's listening, and I just wonder, because he's such a petty asshole, will he then use that information? No, I thought you were actually going somewhere else. It actually will destroy Andre, because Andre is a good person, so it will destroy Andre separate and distinct from Lucious. I think that very few people, even when it is a situation of self-defense, very few people can be involved with killing someone, then burying their body, then going in the woods to dig that body up and have that not stay on them, right? Lucious's lack of response, or him then yelling at the corpse at the end, shows that Lucious truly is the devil. That here it is, your two friends, arguably, like, yes, you didn't directly kill Vernon, but you would have if you had the opportunity. You directly killed Bunky. So the two people that you started off with, simply because you actually were turning your back on them and they articulated that to you, basically you're like, not only am I happy that you're dead, I hope you rot in hell. That I think that shows a juxtaposition between Lucious and Andre, and I hope that there is something coming with that, because again, I think that Trey Bears, is that his name? I think he is an excellent actor, and I think that we need to see more of
the breath, because I think that what he is symbolically, Lucious is evil and he is good. Like, I think they are for the show. They are the two polarities.
And I have to echo what Sofia said about Rhonda, because we don't give Rhonda enough credit, but this episode was literally her standout episode.
Absolutely.
There was something about her and her dynamic with Andre, where even the scene where Andre was saying that God's been talking to me and he's been telling me things. Just her as a wife, just the way that she didn't like have a disrespectful look, or she still acknowledged that he could be telling the truth. He might be a little crazy. I know my husband's crazy, but I still love you. And then she was ride or die when she got into the car with him. Like, no, I'm going with you. And the fact that she's pregnant and she's going to dig up bodies.
Is she really pregnant?
Okay,
I'm just saying. Thoughts on the ending? Just
No. Or do you want? I say that we go to cold piece and we save everything else for online, and then we wrap it up, right? Okay.
Go ahead.
Zach, can we just have the cold piece music and then we will wrap this thing up?
Cold piece of the week for Empire Season 2, Episode 4 goes to Cookie's red leather outfit. Everybody online has been talking about it for the last 2 days, and I have to jump on the bandwagon. She looked like Rick James. Like, I felt like it was busting out You and I. Or the outfit was kind of the same material. Y'all remember the lead singer from Cameo, his leather jockstrap?
Yes.
It was the same material as his red leather jockstrap. So in the spirit of Cookie Lyon and her fashion and her wonderful outfits, the fact that she looked like Eddie Murphy from Delirious, Rick James, and the Cameo jockstrap,
They also said there was Taraji actually retweeted a picture of her and Michael Jackson in the Thriller outfit as well.
Girl, this goes to you. So let us know who you think Cold Piece of the Week should go to. Hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook using hashtag Cold Piece.
And predictions, Emile Ennis Jr.
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Oh, they changed it. My prediction, I do not trust, what's his name? Bubbles, the lawyer?
Foro. Is Foro's? No. I just call him Purple Suit.
I call him Bubbles from The Wire.
Thurston.
Whatever. Thurston, yes. That's why I got confused, because I saw Kennelia's tweet and she said Bubbles. Anyway, I don't trust him. I don't know what's going on with him. And that corpse detection system was the line of the episode.
I don't have any predictions. I'm just going to enjoy the show. I don't know. I mean, everybody is doing they just doing it.
Doing the thing. I'm looking forward to the baptism next week. That episode just looks like it's going to be great.
Yeah, I just ditto on all my other previous predictions because I'm currently 1 for 3.
I agree with the whole thing with the detecting, because I don't know, like, Lucious, how can you not know your homeboy, ex-homeboy? You ain't looked for him, you ain't did nothing. Lucious had to have known something in regards to Vernon, so he's a snake. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let everyone know where you guys can be found on social media.
You can find me at Emile Ennis Jr. on all social media and on YouTube, Chasing LA.
You can find me at Kennelia on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
And you do one more shot of conversation. Check out at @happyhour_TV. And you can find me, Sofia Stanley, at Sofia Stanley, at the Sofia Stanley on Instagram.
And you can find me on social media at Bamm Ericson. Thank you guys for watching AfterBuzz TV for Empire Season 2. We're the Fab Four, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys so much. Bye-bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.